The name of this lesson is How to End Your Interview So You Go From Good Candidate to Great Candidate. Have you ever gone to see a movie and halfway through found yourself bored and restless? Then somehow, during the last 10 minutes of the movie, everything came together so perfectly that you walked out of the theater inspired to tell all of your friends to go see it. Well, that's what you need to do at the end of an interview. You and the interviewer will have spoken about a lot over the 30 to 60 minutes, so ending it powerfully could be the key. If any of your key strengths and skills were not discussed, this is the time to bring them up. You want them to walk away remembering why they want to hire you, and this is your last chance to do it. In this lesson, we cover 3 ways to end every interview with power and purpose. 1. Communicate your motivation and add any key strengths and skills. 2. Check in to see if they need anything else. And 3. Powerful endings that make you stand out. Point 1 is to communicate your motivation and add any key strengths and skills. Have you ever gone on a date and really liked the person, but weren't sure if they liked you? Maybe they had sent some positive, nonverbal clues during the date, but since they had not actually expressed it, you were tentative about how the date went. But if at the end of the date they had told you how much they enjoyed meeting you and that they'd like to see you again, it would have erased all those inhibitions, and you would have asked right away for a second date. Ending an interview is similar. So don't play hard to get and make them guess what you want. You need to clearly communicate in words that you're excited for the job and want them to offer you the position. For example, you could say something as simple as, "I'm really excited and motivated to begin work here and hope you offer me the job." Or you could say, "I'm excited about the opportunity to work here and really feel like I could bring a lot to the position and department based on my experience. I hope you will seriously consider me for the position." Both of these examples communicate that you are excited, motivated, and want the position for which you are interviewing. Also, if a key strength or skill of yours was not brought up during the interview, this is the time to introduce it. You don't want the interviewer making a decision without considering this key aspect of you. So after you've communicated your excitement and motivation to get the job, you would say something like, "Another thing for you to consider that we didn't speak about is X. I consider it one of my key strengths and skills and feel it could really benefit me in this position." But don't elaborate unless they ask you to. They may not have the time. This is a critical step that answers one of the top 3 questions the interviewer has about you, which is whether or not you're motivated to work for them. Point 2 is check in to see if they need anything else. Have you ever followed an exercise regime at home and then discovered that you had been doing it wrong? Maybe you went to a professional yoga teacher or a trainer at a gym and found out that there were more efficient ways to do the stretches and that the weightlifting you were doing was hurting your back. At the end of the interview, you can check in with the interviewer, and it's kind of like getting instant feedback so you can make whatever adjustments you need to make. You can find out if they think you are a good fit for the opportunity, have more questions or any hesitations, or maybe do something about it at that moment instead of just hoping you're doing it right. To do this at the end of the interview, you need to ask the question, "Is there anything else you need to know about me before making your decision?" Notice how you aren't introducing anything negative, like concerns or problems. You are merely asking a neutral question, which allows them to ask additional questions or request more information. Checking in with them gives you a better sense of what they might be thinking about the interview and your possibilities for the job. Point number 3 is powerful endings that make you stand out. Have you ever experienced going out to eat? The food is good and the service is great, but at the end of your meal you can't find the waiter. You have to wait 20 minutes to flag them down, and then when you try to pay, it's another 10 minutes. Those last 30 minutes of being ignored and having to wait left a bad taste in your mouth and spoiled the meal. The last impression you give to the interviewer could spoil your chances as well, so be careful to do the following. Stand up, shake their hand, look them in the eyes, and say something like, "Thank you for your time today. I really enjoyed learning more about the opportunity. I'm very interested. What is the next step?" It shows confidence and communicates gratitude, both positive impressions to leave them with, plus it requests information you need for effective follow-up. If you expect to hear from them in 2 days, but they are planning on conducting interviews for the next 2 weeks, it will allow you to set your expectations correctly. After the interview, definitely send an email thanking them for their time and expressing your motivation for the job. But if you really want to stand out, send a handwritten thank you note. It shows you're willing to go above and beyond the average candidate. So to recap, the 3 best ways to powerfully end interviews and go from a good candidate to a great candidate are the following. First, communicate your motivation and add any key strengths and skills. Second, check in to see if they need anything else. And third, create a powerful ending that makes you stand out. If you do these things at the end of the interview, not only will your interview results improve, but you will leave a strong impression that should put you at the top of their list.